Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Naja'atu Tijani. We begin with judicial matters. The Supreme Court has struck out a case instituted by the Cross River State government against the federal government challenging the suspension of Justice Walter Onogen as the Chief Justice of Nigeria. The Supreme Court, in a majority decision, upheld the preliminary objection of the federal government that the Cross River State government had no locus to approach the apex court. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okeo reports.
As part of reactions to the suspension of Justice Walter Onogen from office as Chief Justice of Nigeria in January, the Cross River State government, where Justice Onogen hails from, approached the Supreme Court asking it to invoke its original jurisdiction to declare the suspension null and void. The Attorney General of the Federation filed a preliminary objection asking the Supreme Court to decline its use of the original jurisdiction, since this case does not fall into the provisions of Section 232 of the Constitution, which allows disputes between states and the federal government to be resolved by the apex court without going through the lower courts. In a 4-1 majority decision delivered by Justice Paul Galinje, the Supreme Court agreed with the federal government's preliminary objection and struck out the matter. The Supreme Court said the suspension of Justice Walter Onogen was not a dispute between the Cross River State government and the federal government, and as such denied the Supreme Court the jurisdiction to go into the substantive matter of determining the propriety of the suspension.
The legal right upon which the matter came from does not fall within the ambit of the Supreme Court, and we're happy that the Supreme Court has agreed with us and this case is struck out.
Once the majority judgment agreed with the federal government that the suspension of Justice Walter Onogen was not a dispute between the federal government and the Cross River State government, the majority judgment did not, therefore, have to go into the merit of the propriety of the suspension. But Justice Mary Odili, who dissented and said that the Cross River State government had the locus to approach the Supreme Court under the original jurisdiction of the Constitution, went into the merit of the matter and ruled that the suspension of Justice Walter Onogen was not valid. From the Supreme Court, Femi Okeo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the National and State Assembly's Elections Petition Tribunal has fixed 25th May 2019 for the commencement of the hearing on the matter between the All Progressives Congress APC candidate Tefa Tiab and Jimin Sopo of the People's Democratic Party, who won the election for Buruku Federal Constituency. Tefa Tiab is challenging the victory of Jimin Sopo, alleging irregularities, non-use of card reader and non-compliance with the electoral guidelines. He is praying the tribunal to cancel the entire results in 8 council wards and order fresh elections. Having received all pending application and replied to all applications by all the parties involved, the tribunal has finished its pre-hearing conference and fixed the 25th May 2019 to hear the substantive petition. Meanwhile, a report from Ebonyi State says the state government is interfacing with the leadership of Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association to curtail the frequent clashes, between herdsmen and farmers in the state. Kingsley Okoro reports.
Is coming after a series of complaints from indigenes of the 13 local government areas of Ebonyi State who claim that herders were molesting women from their communities and destroying farmland while also engaging in other actions that threaten the peace and security of the area.
But the death of arms by civilians in a republic like Nigeria is an anomaly. We have lost lives resulting from activities of menace. There are cases of rape, and each time we meet to discuss with the herdsmen, they will not even give us opportunities to talk with them.
Governor David Umahi reminded the herdsmen the agreement they signed to coexist in their host communities and urged the leaders of Metiala Cattle Breeders Association to educate herders on the need to sustain the existing peace in the state.
Peace we are looking for a entire nation starts with the mind of the peace of the state. Chairman has emphasized no night grazing, no moving of cows from one state to the other. We have a procedure. Let the chairman of NTA know where you are going in Ebonyi State.
Secretary of the association, Baba Nzerima Osman, identified influx of herders from other states, night grazing, and use of minors as factors responsible for the clashes.
There is an influx of consolidated from other states who are coming into Ebonyi because of problems.
He assured the governor that the herders in the state will not default in the agreement they reached in their parties in the interest of peace and progress of the state. In Abakaliki, Kingsley Okoro, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has struck out a suit filed by the Legal Defense and Assistance Project seeking the removal of the Senate President Bukola Saraki, Speaker House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara, and 56 other senators and members House of Representatives who defected before the 2019 general elections from office on the grounds that the plaintiff lacks the locus standi to institute the suit. The presiding judge, Justice Okon Abang, noted that the action ought to have been instituted by the political parties that sponsored the lawmakers or the electorate. In the light of this, the court struck out the case for lacking merit. Justice Abang, however, held that it is an abuse of court process, joining Senator Godswill Akpabio in the matter since he was expelled from the PDP before moving to the APC. It is on the strength of this that the presiding judge dismissed the case.
The right of appeal lies with my client, the plaintiff, or our client, the plaintiff. It doesn't lie with us. It is our client. After guiding the client, if he feels aggrieved by the judgment of the court, he will now instruct us to appeal. And in that case, we can say we want to appeal.
In another development, the Federal High Court has restrained the suspended chairman and presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, Omole Sowore, from parading himself as the national chairman of the party. The court also prevented INEC from recognizing the suspended chairman, pending the determination of the motion on notice. Justice Iyang Ekwo equally ordered the deputy national chairman of the party, Malcolm Fabi, to stop parading himself in that capacity.
The order of courts in the Vanguard and Sun newspaper within 7 days. Now with this, the acting national chairman standing before me now is now acting in that state until the contrary is placed before the court.
In their affidavit to support the motion on notice, the party alleged that Sowore and his deputy failed to fulfill the statutory requirement of holding the National Executive Committee meeting of the party quarterly as required. Now to some National Assembly matters. The Nigerian Ports Authority hopes to partner the private sector towards the development of deep-sea ports and other joint venture arrangements for improved returns on investments, if its budgetary projections are approved by the National Assembly. This came to the fore when the Ports Authority briefed the House Committee on Ports, Harbours and Waterways on its 2018 budget performance. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The Economic Recovery Growth Plan and other structural reforms of the present administration that simulated economic activities are said to have impacted greatly on the performance of the Nigerian Ports Authority in 2018, which is why the management is focused on driving innovation for better performance in all its operations.
An increase in the number of ocean-going vessels calling at our ports and improved service of boat operations expected to strengthen the authority's revenue generation during the year, and the cordial and collaborative relationship with stakeholders, especially relevant security agents and host communities, shall be sustained.
The Managing Director of National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, Senator Olorunumbe Mamora, while defending the authority's 2019 spending proposal, said plans are on to upscale the development of inland water transportation in Nigeria.
The recurrent budget constituted 40% and capital 60% of the total 2018 budget appropriation for implementation of both new and ongoing projects.
Budget is a law. You do not select and put all the money in convenient areas and then leave others.
Other agencies that appeared before the Committee for the Budget Defense were the Nigeria Shippers Council and the Council for the Regulation of Freight Forwarding in Nigeria. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Now, the House of Representatives Committee on Army has observed that the Nigerian Army is overstretched and underfunded despite its increasing internal security operations across the country. This was during an oversight visit to army formations in Maiduguri, Borno State. Ismail Musa reports.
These are members of the House Committee on Army on Oversight to Maiduguri, the control and command center of the ongoing counter-insurgency operations. Despite acknowledging improvement in funding under the present government, the Army is asking for more.
Equipment that is required is much. The work that is needed is much. The United Nations recommendation about personnel of the armed forces is ratio is about 10% of the population. What we have here is much lower than what is required.
We have told them too that they should find a way to bring other governmental support, not just only leaving the crisis or the problem to the military, to rally land the entire country so that it doesn't look like the military problem alone.
The increase in internal security threats has forced the Army to be engaged in more secondary roles of internal security operations. At present, the fighting formation has different operations that span to about 30 states, while the non-kinetic efforts under the civil-military relations is spread across all states of the Federation. From Maiduguri, Borno State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And on to educational matters now. The federal government has earmarked over 900 million naira for the training of teachers handling students with special needs from across the country. 18 teachers are to be trained with the special knowledge aimed at enhancing their skills for optimum performance. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir has details of this and other resolutions of the Federal Executive Council meeting.
Briefing journalists shortly after the Federal Executive Council meeting on the resolution of the Ministry of Education, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, explained that 2 memos were submitted and approved by the Council to facilitate teaching and learning in the country. One is for the construction of the School of Engineering Technology, as well as School of Agricultural Technology in Akure at the cost of about ₦1 billion. And the second memo was for the consultancy services for capacity development of teachers handling students with special needs.
This will actually entail training 18 teachers from each state of the Federation to handle students with special needs and disability.
For the development of Federal Capital Territory, 6 memos were approved comprising the provision of an access road to link very key roads in the Central Business District
The first of the memos we presented was a memo for the award of contract for the construction and equipping of material testing laboratory in Abuja.
4 memos were also submitted by the Ministry of Transportation. These include the rehabilitation, reconstruction and renovation of the building and structures of Railway Village in Agbo, Delta State.
And the second memoranda is procurement of security and safety deficiencies, stroke incidences laboratory for Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NTA. And the third memorandum from transportation is procurement of pavement marking machines.
The meeting was presided over by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshimbajo. From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Now let's head to Lagos, where Jennifer Igwe is standing by with more updates. It's good to see you, Jennifer.
See you too, Najatu, and welcome to Lagos. The Lagos State government has assured residents that it would establish call centers for better management and maintenance of its assets and infrastructure across the state. Governor Akinwumi Ambode gave the assurance at the launch of Lagos State Maintenance Culture Initiative. Nosa Usula reports.
The Maintenance Culture Initiative policy is the brainchild of the Governor Akinwumi Ambode administration to use maintenance culture to create and upgrade jobs, as well as utilize skills of its trained artisans. Governor Ambode, who was represented by the General Manager, Lagos State Infrastructure Asset Management Agency, Oladeji Williams, explained that the state would maximize the use of trained artisans that graduated from its various skills acquisition centers across the state to close the unemployment gap.
We are constantly aware of their physical condition, and we can make defensible estimates for reinvestment costs, so prudent and informed decisions can be made.
Lawmaker representing Epe Constituency 1 in the Lagos State House of Assembly, Abiodun Tobun, stressed the need to increase budgetary allocation for facility management in the state.
In Nigeria today, our problem is maintaining our infrastructure and facilities. And Lagos State government has been bold enough to take the bull by the horn by making sure that they fortify this agency to ensure that they maintain our facilities.
Speakers emphasized the need to spread awareness for Nigeria and Nigerians to take advantage of the numerous facility management benefits. In Lagos, Nusa Osula, NTA News.
Now, the symbiotic relationship between the police and the public is a panacea to achieving effective policing in Nigeria. Lagos State Commissioner of Police Zubeiru Muazu, at an interactive session with members of the civil society organization, assured residents of an improved police-public relationship. Jesuta Moses has the details.
Needs to enhance police-citizen relations through respect for human rights and policing with integrity have been stressed over the years. Civil society organizations under the aegis of Center for Change at a meeting with the Lagos State Police Commissioner Zubeiru Muazu stressed that violators of human rights among the officers and men of the force must be dealt with to serve as deterrents for others. They promised to collaborate with the police to build public confidence in the force.
We are ready to collaborate in training and retraining. We also want to tell the police that they are our friends, and as much as possible, we will always continue to advocate for their welfare.
The Lagos State Police Commissioner Zubeiru Muazu noted that community policing cannot be achieved without carrying the people along by gaining their trust and confidence. The CP expressed readiness to partner with the civil society organizations. He assured residents of police presence in their communities, improved response time to crime emergencies.
The simple secret is making policemen realize that the same laws that give us our powers limit such powers.
Need for regular training and public respect for police rights were also emphasized. In Lagos, Jesuta Moses, NTA News.
Nigerian youths have been urged to desist from defamatory comments and see themselves as agents of change in order to encourage peaceful coexistence in the society. This was a submission of speakers at the National Youth Summit on Crime Prevention in Lagos. Imoleayo Tukede reports.
Students from different parts of Lagos State, they have converged to deliberate on crime and insecurity in Nigeria, particularly the crucial role of youths in preventing criminal activities. Under the theme, Combating Radicalism and Violent Extremism in Local Communities, Perspectives and Practice, this one-day summit provided a platform for security agents and the youths to rub minds on strategies to ensure youths desist from crime and the repercussion of criminal activities.
We want to start talking to our young people, our students, that look, becoming radicalized or becoming a promoter of violent extremism leaves us without any form of development.
Speakers at the summit identified the breakdown of family values and society value system as some causes of crime in the society. They provide possible solutions to combating these menaces.
We work specifically in developing tools for the education sector, so to look at primary school, secondary school, but also at tertiary schools in terms of providing crime-related content and crime prevention-related content into the curriculum of these different levels of education.
Identifying and condemning antisocial behavior, you see that the fight and prevention that we seek for will be closer than ever.
Speakers at this summit are of the view that active participation of youths in nation building will go a long way in preventing crimes across the globe. In Lagos, Imoleayo Tukede, NTA News.
Thank you, Molayo. Now that's a contribution from Lagos. Nationwide continues after this commercial break. Stay with us.
The clock is ticking. It's the signal for the inauguration of the 16th President of Nigeria and 5th President in the 4th Nigerian Republic.
Nigerians are set to mark the beginning of the second term of Muhammadu Buhari as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The first term saw the most massive critical infrastructural development, agricultural revolution, war against corruption, tackling insecurity, and unprecedented social investment programs. Our opportunity to keep moving our country on the path to a prosperous future. It's the next level for the Nigerian people. This is our time as Nigerians. Come, let us celebrate the next level with Muhammadu Buhari, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Date, Wednesday, 29th May 2019. Venue, Eagle Square, Abuja. Time, 8 a.m. prompt. Roll out the drums. Come, let's celebrate.
Announcer Boss Gida Mustafa, Secretary to Government of the Federation and Chairman 2019 Presidential Inauguration Committee.
The management of the Nigeria Television Authority (NTA), Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria (FRCN), and Voice of Nigeria cordially invites the general public to the 14th edition of the annual Ramadan lecture, which will inshallah hold on Saturday, 18th May 2019. The topic is Tolerance in Islam, to be delivered by Sheikh Muhammad Nuruddin Lemu, Director of Research and Training, Dawah Institute of Nigeria Islamic Education Trust, Mina, Niger State. The venue for the event is Lumana Multipurpose Hall, River Road, Jabi Road East, Ngorimi Jari, Kaduna by 9 a.m. Under the distinguished chairmanship of Lamido of Adamawa, His Royal Highness Muhammad Berkindo Aliyu Mustafa. The chief host is His Excellency Malam Nasr Ahmed El-Rufai, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State. Royal Father of the Day is His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Sho Idris, CFA, Emir of Zazzau. The host, Malam Yakubi Muhammad, Director General of Nigeria Television Authority, Malam Mansur Liman, Director General of Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, and Dr. Osta Okechuku, Director General of Voice of Nigeria. Announcer Organizing Committee, you are welcome.
NTA Television College Jos announces admissions into 2-year diploma programs in film and television production, television engineering, and broadcast journalism. The sale of forms will commence on the 13th of May and run through 30th July 2019. Admission forms can be obtained from all marketing offices, NTA state capital stations, zonal centers, or at the office of the academic secretary, NTA Television College, Rayfield, Jos.
On payment of a non-refundable fee of 7,500 naira in bank draft in favor of NTA TV College. Applicants can also obtain the forms through the NTA TV College portal at www.ntatvc.edu.nj.
Applicants are required to possess 5 credits in GCE or SSCE in relevant areas of study in not more than 2 sittings, including English and mathematics. All properly completed forms attached with photocopies of credentials must be submitted on or before 30th July 2019. For further inquiries, please visit our website at ntatvc.com or call 0803 3144 383.
NTA TV College, training you to be the best you want to be.
It is another blessed month of Ramadan, and the Muslim community of the NTA2 Lagos Network Center invites you to be a part of its annual Yusuf Jibu Ramadan lecture with the theme Learn Islam, Live Islam. Date Saturday 18th May 2019. Time 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Venue NTA2 Lagos Network Center premises Ahmadu Bello Way, Victoria Island, Lagos. Under the chairmanship of Alhaji Abdulatif Femi Okunu, National President Ansaruddin Society of Nigeria. Chief host, Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, DG NTA. Principal host, Malam Lawal Ahmed, Zonal Director, NTA2 Lagos Network Center. Sheikh Jabir Saname Hula of the Sokoto State University will be discussing the topic Islamic Perspective to Nigerian Diversity and Inclusion, while Sheikh Dr. Ridwan Jamiu, Imam, Lekki Muslim Ummah, will do justice to the topic, the challenges of leadership in Nigeria, the missing link. Don't miss this spiritually rewarding gathering. Ramadan Kareem.
Welcome back to Nationwide. For the African continent to achieve sustainable development goals in 2030, experts are advocating the need for concerted efforts at fighting corruption on the continent. Abdullahi Musa Suleja reports that this is a fallout of the Transparency International policy paper presentation on land and education corruption in Africa.
Instances abound in West Africa, where forgeries, seeking a bribe for admission into institutions, clothing of land documents, allocating land without following due process, land grabbing, sex for marks in higher institutions, and discrimination against women, among others, are serious corrupt cases impeding development. A Transparency International survey expressed concern over the endemic problem and how the vices can destroy the society. Executive Director, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, who is also the Nigerian chairman, Transparency International, Awal Musa Sanjani, is hopeful that the coming together of participatory countries will develop ideas that can ensure land and education management in the continent better.
The issue of corruption and lack of accountability can be tackled only in coalition and through networks. This is why regional and international collaboration is so important.
Other speakers are unanimous that it is faulty for individuals to leave the fight against corruption in the hands of government alone.
It is political suicide for any administration to actually come out and fight corruption. And that, for me, is one of the reasons why I continue to applaud this administration for taking that bold step to say we will fight corruption.
We cannot talk about the achievement of those SDGs if the issue of governance is not addressed, specifically the issue of corruption.
Emphasis was also paid on blowing whistle on any corrupt practices. Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
Now, the federal government, through the Ministry of Finance, says it has recorded gains in its quest to improve revenue to GDP ratio in the last 4 years as it begins to wind down activities of the present administration. Liakatung Babatunde reports that the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, made this known that government has grown taxpayer base from 12 to 35 million naira as reforms continue to yield desired results.
It is countdown to the end of an era, and the Federal Ministry of Finance, along with the agencies that are accountable to her and the Nigerian people, have been given a breakdown of steps they have taken in the last 4 years and how they had steered the affairs of the economy also in the last 4 years. Now the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, is telling Nigerians that revenue indeed has been a source of concern for the Nigerian government. Now this is because at the inception of this administration, all prices were not at a favorable position. And also, Nigeria was bedeviled by a poor savings culture along with a huge infrastructure deficit.
In 2018, our budgeted revenue was 7.2 trillion, and this is against the actual figure that was realized of 3.96 trillion, signifying a negative variance of 45%. But despite that, we were able to meet salaries 100%, debt service 100%. As at 14th of May 2019, we have been able to release against the 2018 budget 2.079 trillion naira for capital expenditures.
Nigeria's debt burden is actually not going anywhere soon. Now, this is because the federal government is still borrowing, but this time around at a higher tenure by as much as 30 years repayment plan.
We are in the process of issuing the second green bond, this time around for 15 billion naira. This second bond will be to finance various projects in the agricultural sector, as well as in the power sector, in the health sector, and as well as the water sector.
In the next coming months, we're going to be witnessing a lot of investment in human capital as Nigeria is still expressing concerns over the inability of the population growth to tally with economic growth. Liakatung Babatunde, NTA News.
Meanwhile, a committee tasked with the responsibility of ensuring that the financial autonomy of the state legislature and judiciary is implemented in the 36 states of the Federation has been set up by President Muhammadu Buhari and has held a 2-day retreat to officially kickstart its assignment. Abdul Karim Mohammed has the report.
Nigeria has been clamoring for financial autonomy for both legislature and judiciary to enhance efficiency and service delivery in lawmaking and quick dispensation of justice by both arms of government for the benefit of citizens. The 2-day retreat is setting in motion a roadmap towards implementation of the initiative, with the committee having been inaugurated.
The whole essence of constitutional alteration effort by the National Assembly has always been to strengthen the institutions of democracy, promote good governance, and hasten national development.
Any amount standing to the credit of the judiciary in the consolidated revenue fund of the Federation shall be paid directly to the National Judicial Council for disbursement to heads of court established for the Federation and the state under Section 6 of this Constitution.
The program is also part of the efforts by President Buhari's administration to bring about transparency in governance and curb corruption in the public sector.
Unfortunately, only a few clauses of what National Assembly passed were assented to by the President. But this is very critical in terms of strengthening our democracy, that the legislature is able to function as an independent arm of government, able to moderate the excesses of the executive, particularly at the state level, where the development of the government and the transparency of government is very, very limited.
The retreat is expected to x-ray various topics, including the role of the executive arm in strengthening the financial autonomy of state legislature and judiciary in Nigeria. In Abuja, Abdul Karim Mohammed, NTA News.
Our next stop on Nationwide is Enugu. Comfort Ayim is our guide. Hello, Comfort.
Thank you, Najatu, and welcome to Enugu Network Center. Ebonyi State government is to prosecute individuals and government officials found culpable in court clashes and communal crises. Governor David Umahi made this known while giving assent to 5 new laws passed by the State House of Assembly. Kingsley Okoro report.
The 5 new laws are Ebonyi State Pension Reform Law, Ebonyi State Revenue Amendment Law, State Investment and Investors Protection Law, Ebonyi State University Amendment Law, and the State School of Health Law. Governor Umahi, while assenting the laws, declared that the law against the court activities had not been effective and urged the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Francis Wilfru, to revisit the law, pointing out that he had received a series of reports about the name of some public officials who are members of court group and warned that anyone or identified as court member will face the full weight of the law.
Anybody that is in court must be brought to book. I have the names, and the federal government, they are ready and preparing to come and take these people. And they have written me that nobody whose names are there should be allowed to make our next government. But for those that have already made elected position, it is important. I will be discussing with some of you secretly one-on-one. I will show you the letter and you make a choice, either to work with me or to answer to the federal government. They have branded courtism terrorism.
The governor commended the relationship existing between the executive and legislative arm of government that have led to massive development in the state. In Abakaliki, Kingsley Okoro, NTA News.
A cross-section of people in Enugu say the decision by the federal government to grant financial autonomy to the local government by the 1st of June is long overdue. They said with this, more development is sure to get to the grassroots. They spoke with Chika Ugu.
Third-tier government is the intermediary between the government and the people at the grassroots. Adequate and effective local authority indicates that government's policies and activities reach the populace at that level. For smooth running of the government, therefore, the role of the local government in the growth of any state cannot be overemphasized. However, in Nigeria, despite advocacy over the years for local government autonomy, it has continued to adopt a system that makes the local government reliant and dependent on state governments.
We have also had problem of implementation because subsequent administrations have talked about that. Even the Constitution made it clear, guaranteeing that structure to be independent from the control of the states.
Meanwhile, the federal government's directive that local government allocations be sent directly to their accounts, which will take effect from the 1st of June. Residents of Enugu say the decision is a welcome development.
It will help advance the cause of the local government, and they are rich in the states.
And this is what we've been praying for, so that they will start empowerment from the grassroots.
This situation, they believe, will ensure good governance and help the people hold elected leaders accountable, as there will not be excuse for non-performance. According to the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, the directive will also help curb corruption and money laundering, as any bank that allows any transaction from any local government account without monies first reaching a particular local government account will be sanctioned. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
National Executive Committee of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, says it will no longer tolerate members that take the party to court without first exhausting all internal procedures for crisis resolution. This formed part of the resolutions reached during its NEC meeting held at the Governor's Lodge, Amobia. Ndem Kalu has the details.
Resolution, the National Secretary of APGA, Labran Mako, announced that the party adopted 31st May for the National Convention, 23rd May for states and zonal elections, while the local government elections will hold on 21st May, followed by the ward elections on 19th May. He noted that the council empowered the National Working Committee members of the party to prepare agenda, adding that the party still retains the sharing formula for the offices adopted in 2015 until the current leadership exhausts their 2 terms. Mako announced that all members of the Board of Trustees stands dissolved, having served for 4 years, while commending Governor Willie Obiano for his leadership style in the party.
The other resolution that was adopted was that NEC adopted unanimously the resolution empowering the National Working Committee to prepare the agenda for the coming National Convention.
Governor Obiano urged party members and stakeholders across the country to resist division and unite in order to move the party forward.
We're the third largest party in Nigeria, abide properly in line with the constitution of APGA and in the spirit of being your brothers and sisters.
The meeting is the second National Executive Committee meeting of the party. From the Governor's Lodge, Amobia, Ndem Kalo, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Enugu is back to Najatu in Abuja for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Comfort. And from Enugu, we head to Medina, where prayers for peace, unity, stability, and sustainable growth and development of Nigeria took center stage at the Masjidul Nabi, or Mosque of Prophet Muhammad, in Medina, as President Buhari joined Muslim faithful to observe the congregational Jumat prayer. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports on the president's engagement on the second day of his invitational visit to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
It is a fact that there is no special place or special time to worship Allah, as a believer's entire life is one of worship. However, there are moments and days that the Creator has made more superior. Friday, the best day in the sight of Allah, is one of those times. For President Muhammadu Buhari and all those on his entourage, there is no better worshiping location than Rawda, in the heart of the Mosque of the Holy Prophet, which is also the center of the holy city of Medina. And Saudi authorities made this possible.
It's all part of what the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is doing to honor our president, to honor Mr. President, by having him have the best of the opportunities offered for worship in the Holy Mosque of the Holy Prophet in Medina and in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Congregational prayer performed here on this day and in the holy month of Ramadan holds special significance in the life of every Muslim faithful. In fact, scholars say prayers uttered in Rawda by the faithful are never rejected. And for President Muhammadu Buhari, soon to be inaugurated for a second term of office, there is no better opportunity for prayers to Allah.
The president's focus are well thought out and well articulated. And all of the opportunities he has, he continues to focus on the well-being of the Nigerian nation, on issues of security that continue to challenge, the administration and the nation, and for God's intervention in all of these matters.
During the prayer session, the presiding imam not only delivered khutbah to empower the worshippers with valuable knowledge about Allah and the religion of Islam, but also offered special prayers for divine intervention in the darkness dilemma of life confronting mankind, especially the Muslim world. From Medina, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And back home in Nigeria, the committee of the ECOWAS police chiefs has been charged to take advantage of its 16th General Assembly to strengthen the security architecture within the region. President Buhari gave the charge at the closing ceremony of the three-day summit in Abuja. Donyi Dia was there.
It was a 3-day of networking policy review and analysis of the security situation within the ECOWAS sub-region by heads of security agencies. President Muhammadu Buhari, represented by Nigeria's Minister of Interior, Lieutenant General Abdurrahman Dambazao, says the forum has again presented a veritable platform to critically analyze the dimension of transnational crimes which is often threatening regional integration, sustainable socio-cultural and economic development within the region.
I therefore urge you to share your experiences, reassess and harmonize crime control strategies and operations in our various countries, such that we can establish strong and viral institutions that will ensure that the fight against crime and criminality is more effective and efficient and provides security of lives and property to our people, while striking a balance with the ECOWAS protocol for free movement of goods, persons and services.
Son Excellence, Monsieur Muhammadu Buhari, Président de la République fédérale du Nigeria.
President of the ECOWAS Commission, represented by the Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security, thanked President Buhari for the active role Nigeria has played in the sustenance of peace in the region. The ECOWAS Commission, he said, will continue to explore all useful avenues to protect the territorial integrity of the sub-region.
From the ECOWAS Parliament in Abuja, Domi, Dia, NTA News.
Now, a literary piece that will assist in molding and shaping the thoughts and dreams of the Nigerian child towards promoting national peace, as well as efforts taken in tackling insurgency, has been presented to the public in Abuja. This is in furtherance of efforts by the Nigerian army to rid the nation of crimes and criminality. Elizabeth Omori reports that the book is titled The Legend of Buratai, a memoir of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai.
The presentation of the book is quite apt, following efforts to promote the reading culture of the Nigerian child and imparting knowledge through fiction. The 7-chapter and 90-page publication was skillfully written by Dr. Abubakar Sani to help primary and secondary school students appreciate General Tukur Buratai, one of Africa's infantry generals who has recorded immense success in combating insurgency in Nigeria. The legend of Buratai encapsulates the exemplary leadership, skills, commitment, and facts presented to the Chief of Army Staff as an authority and a point of reference to students and generations to come when issues of counterterrorism is brought to the fore. The author of the book described the Army Chief as a fountain of knowledge with wealth of experience, which is evident in the operations of the Nigerian Army as the nation counters terrorism and other crimes.
His life summarizes this: diligence, hard work, excellence, probity, commitment, and patriotism to his fatherland.
There was a goodwill message from the Chief of Army Staff, who is on a national assignment, to the audience.
The nation has gone through thick and thin in her growth from infancy to maturity. What has kept the country going is the resolve to collectively strive to do our very best to protect the national interest.
Al-Hassan Abdullahi also delivered some poetic lines in appreciation of efforts to combating insurgency in the northeast of Nigeria.
If you could listen to the silence of appreciation, you'd have to respect the humility of the Nigerian soldier.
The Legend of Buratai is recommended for all literary enthusiasts. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Still on security, the Nigeria police force has paraded over 50 suspected notorious criminals operating along the Abuja-Kaduna highway with sophisticated weapons recovered. Domi Dia reports that it is part of the renewed effort of the Inspector General of Police to rid the area of crime and restore sanity.
I supply this local goal.
This kidnapped suspect and prison escapee is one of the notorious criminals who met their Waterloo. The arrest was based on intelligence gathering and surveillance by the Nigerian police force under the Operation Puff Other.
But as it shows you, as it tells you a bit about the desperation of the criminal gang, it will also tell you
about our determination to continue to rain very hard on them. And I want to reassure Nigerians today that our determination, our commitment to bringing an end to the reign of terror in Nigeria remains irrevocable.
The Abuja-Kaduna highway, which has become a flashpoint of kidnapping, banditry, robbery, and other forms of criminality, the Nigeria Police Force says is now safe for travelers.
Abuja-Kaduna Express Road is safe, and we encourage communities that are on this axis to also continue to support us the way they've been doing in the last 3-4 weeks.
The level of cooperation between the natives and Fulanis and the security agencies, it has improved, not like before. Yes, because we give them assurance that we'll liaise with them, we'll collaborate with them to ensure that not even safeguarding the Abuja-Kaduna road, even cattle rustling will be checkmated too.
Now, we know people who are happy and will move freely without any fear.
The weapons recovered are AK-47 rifles, locally made guns, live cartridges, military uniform, and a rocket launcher, as well as fake currencies. Doing Dia NTA News.
And for more on security matters, let's join our Maiduguri Network Center.
Thank you, Naja'atu, and a warm welcome to Maiduguri. Borno State government has reiterated commitment to support the Nigerian army in its quest to clear the remnants of Boko Haram terrorists in the state and the northeast sub-region in general. Governor Kashim Shettima gave the assurance when members of the House of Representatives Committee on Nigerian Army visited him at the Government House, Maiduguri. Memuna Garba will now bring us more details of the story.
Governor Kashim Shettima commended the Nigerian Army for the successes it's been recording in the counter-insurgency operations, even with the lean resources, stressing the need for all to support them. He said the visit by the committee members will afford them the opportunity to appreciate the gallant efforts of the Nigerian Army in containing the insurgency, as their facilities have been overstretched.
I believe that with the support of the National Assembly, we will provide the necessary impetus for the Nigerian Army to be adequately equipped and motivated to defend our fatherland.
Chairman of the committee, Remande Shawulu, appealed to the governor to support the Nigerian Army, adding that its challenges are enormous, hence the collective resolve to enable it succeed in its onerous tasks.
If there's anything that you had wanted to do for the military that you have not done, Your Excellency, please do it quickly so that you don't come and say, I wish I had done it. If you can remember anything that you have not done, please, we plead with you to do it. Because when you come to National Assembly, you will see the leanness.
Members of the committee were appreciative of the significant peace being enjoyed in the state. In Maiduguri, Memuna Garba, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force has inaugurated 3 new aircraft shelters at the Air Task Force Operation Lafia Dole in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. In a message to the occasion, the Chief of Air Staff gave an assurance of continued support to personnel in the front line in line with President Muhammadu Buhari's directive. Mohammed Ibrahim has the rest of the story.
The 3 aircraft shelters, also known as hangars, went through a series of short-term repairs after the old ones were torn down. The Chief of Air Staff, represented by Chief of Aircraft Engineering Headquarters, Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Ibrahim Musa Mukhtar, explained that it was only wise to reconstruct a much stronger shelter with modern and durable canvas.
That our aircraft and equipment will be properly sheltered from the extreme vagaries of weather in Maiduguri, and will also save our aircraft from damages.
The Air Force, in line with the mission of the Air Chief, has continued to embark on projects that will ensure its personnel work under favorable conditions, which before now saw to inauguration of technicians' crew room as well as accommodation block for airmen.
Your commitment to the provision of infrastructure for the optimum performance and comfort of our personnel, especially those of us in the Northeast, is very commendable, sir.
Commander Air Task Force Maiduguri Air Vice Marshal James Gwani also reassured the nation of optimum performance as a show of gratitude to the Chief of Air Staff's commitment to providing needed infrastructure and comfort to personnel. In Maiduguri, Muhammad Ibrahim, NTA News.
Nationwide continues after this break.
When you think about hospitality and affordable luxury away from home, then you talk about Sharon Ultimate Hotels, a secured and serene environment that offers kingly services such as 24-hour room service, impeccable security with CCTV surveillance, parking lots, free Wi-Fi internet service, free complimentary breakfast, restaurants that offers continental and local dishes, well-equipped fitness center with instructors, swimming pool, 350 capacity multipurpose hall, laundry service, pastry corner, mini mart, and our suites are breathtaking. For reservation, locate us at plot 1710, Tafawa Balewa Way, Area 3, Garikia, Abuja. Sharon Ultimate Hotels, the ultimate place.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA. Get the latest news and updates from across Nigeria on NTA Nationwide. NTA Nationwide, weekdays by 4 p.m. Get it first, get it fresh.
And that's Nationwide, the last for the week. Thanks for watching. I'm Naja'atu Tijani. Network News comes up at 9 p.m.